Hello everyone, this is your loving host Dr. Afshan Hashmi, best-selling author, radio and TV personality, and today I am here to listen with you guys some highlights of Prince Harry's memoir, which was released on 10th January 2023 and is a very popular book, and so I bought it yesterday, and we will listen some audio highlights of the book together, and then I will give my thoughts on it. And but before I dive into the topic, I would like you to please remind you that these are my two books. The first one is The Modern Mughal Mentality, New Strategies to Succeed in India and the Global Marketplace. And this book was hot number one new release on Amazon, as well as it was Amazon bestseller. And I want a documentary to be made of this book. So all those Hollywood, Bollywood, independent documentary producers, please contact me at Afshan at drafshanhashmi.com. There are many American companies featured in this book, and I have conceptualized jugaad thinking outside the box, and I would love you guys to buy this book and give me an honest review. And all those documentary producers, please contact me at afshan at drafshanhashmi.com. Now my second book, The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection, was also an Amazon bestseller, and the beauty of this book is that it came in 2019, and when there was no trace of coronavirus. And in a very unique story, I have told that how a virus can harm the human population. Having said that, friends, I want a movie or a web series to be made of this book. So, all those movie producers, whether you are in Hollywood, Bollywood, Netflix, Amazon, or independent, please contact me at afshan at drafshanhashmi.com. And also, please buy my book and give me an honest review. Folks, I'm a full-time author, so all these books, whatever revenue it brings food to the table. So I will really request you to go and see this book, and this book is available worldwide wherever books are sold. So please go and buy this book and give me an honest review. And also, friends, please sponsor this doco series. As you know, this doco series is syndicated worldwide to 300 million listeners. And folks, just imagine, in a very reasonable price, your product will be syndicated worldwide to 300 million listeners, and you name a platform, and this doco series is there. So please, if you give me sponsorship, just imagine, in a very reasonable price, how your product will be promoted. Just think, folks, in a very reasonable price. So if you want to sponsor this doco series, please contact me at afshan at drafshanhashmi.com. And also, please go and follow me on my social media platform, and especially on YouTube. And my YouTube handle is at Afshan Hashmi. Having said that, friends, let's dive into the topic. So, first, I will give you, this is the Amazon page of the book, and it says, the description says it was one of the most searing images of the 20th century. Two young boys, two princes, walking behind their mother's coffin as the world watched in sorrow and horror. As Princess Diana was laid to rest, billions wondered what Prince William and Prince Harry must be thinking and feeling, and how their lives would play out from that point on. For Harry, this is that story at last. Before losing his mother, 12-year-old Prince Harry was known as the carefree one, the happy go lucky, spare to the more serious heir. Grief changed everything. He struggled at school, struggled with anger, with loneliness, and because he blamed the press for his mother's death, he struggled to accept life in the spotlight. At 21, he joined the British Army. The discipline gave him structure, and two tours made him a hero at home. But he soon felt more lost than ever, suffering from post traumatic stress and prone to crippling panic attacks. Above all, he couldn't find true love. Then he met Megan. The world was swept away by the couple's cinematic romance and rejoiced in their fairy tale wedding. But from the beginning, Harry and Meghan were preyed upon by the press, subjected to waves of abuse, racism, and lies. Watching his wife suffer, their safety and mental health at risk, Harry saw no other way to prevent the tragedy of history repeating itself but to flee his mother country. Over the centuries, leaving the royal family was an act few had dared. The last to try, in fact, had been his mother. For the first time, Prince Harry tells his own story, chronicling his journey with raw, unflinching honesty. A landmark publication, his pair is full of insight, revelation, self examination, and hard won wisdom about the eternal power of love over grief. About the author, Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, is a husband, father, humanitarian, military veteran, mental wellness advocate, and environmentalist. He resides in Santa Barbara, California, with his family and three dogs. And let's see. So Amazon.com sales rank. It is right now number 4 in Kindle store, number 1 in history at Kindle store, number 1 in memoirs in Kindle store, number 1 in biographies of reality at Kindle store. And here are the stores. And then let me show you. Yes, it is number 4 on overall Amazon. And today is 11 January 2023 when I'm giving this live broadcast. So now, metro section of Vanguard. And here it is. It says, Spare Prince Harry's book breaks UK sales record, tops Amazon bestseller list. And it is from Vanguard in their metro section. The Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry's memoir, Spare, has become the United Kingdom's fastest selling non fiction book ever. So it says the Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry's memoir, Spare, has become the United Kingdom's fastest selling non fiction book ever. Spare, which hit the bookshelves on Tuesday, according to its publisher, had 400,000 copies sold so far across hardback, ebook, and audio layouts. Transworld Penguin Random House revealed this according to Reuters on Wednesday. Harry has made some explosive revolutions about his childhood in the autobiography, which includes the physical assault he suffered from his brother, Prince William, the Prince of Wales. He also spoke about how he killed 25 Taliban fighters in Afghanistan when he was an Apache helicopter pilot at the war 10 years ago. And I will give my review after we hear the highlights, and after that I will give review. Folks, I have done thousands of book reviews. So if you have those kind of needs, please contact me at Afshan at drafshanhashmi.com. Now, talking more about from Vanguard. The latest bombshell from the book was saying he was born as a spare part of the heir William the idea that birthed the book. We always knew this book would fly, but it is exceeding even our most bullish expectations, Transworld Penguin Random House Managing Director Larry Findlay said in a statement. As far as we know, the only books to have sold more in their first day are those starring the other Harry Potter. Earlier in the day, Carolyn Lennon, a retail worker and one of the eager readers who had headed to bookshops to get their copy on the first day of its release, said she would read the book immediately as she posed for photographers. I like him. I like the royal family, said Lennon, 59, the first and only person waiting to buy a book from a Waterstones bookshop in central London when it opened. Despite the lack of queues, Waterstones said there had been strong pre-orders for the memoir, which currently ranks as the bestseller on Amazon's UK, US, Australian, German, and Canadian websites. I know perhaps some of the things he says have rubbed different people the wrong way. Lai Jiang told Reuters after buying a copy in Singapore. And I know definitely there are a lot of people who say that he shouldn't come out and say the things he says, but I believe Harry should be given a chance to say what he wants to say. So this was from Vanguard Metro section, and there is like a so this is the website of the book, and it says princeharrymemoir.com, and it is here. And then there is description of the book which I have read already from Amazon. And now we will watch some videos to have a full view, like a comprehensive view of what this book is about, and then I will give my review. And this is Prince Harry Memoir set sales record, and this is CBC News, the National. And let's start this, and we will watch this video together.
Preparing for the big launch, but Prince Harry has been staking out his position for some time now. And after days of leaked highlights, confessional interviews, and the ease of online ordering, media packs on the hunt for people waiting for bookshops to open their doors found themselves having to share.
Are you excited to read it?
The book's narrative, all 400 pages of it, swings. From moving accounts of Harry's struggle to accept his mother's death as a child, to petty grievances hung out in a public airing cupboard.
You hurt my feelings, Megan.
This is Harry reading a section on tensions between his wife and sister-in-law.
Kate's eyes widened. Yes, you talked about my hormones. We're not close enough for you to talk about my hormones. Meg's eyes got wide too.
Critics say focus on the salacious details of the split between the father, the heir, and the so-called spare has pushed aside any meaningful examination of the potential impact of Harry's allegations against the monarchy on its long-term health.
In terms of the soap opera, yeah, Harry's a guy in pain. He wrote his memoir. The problem is that's breaking royal protocol. Where does that leave the trust within the family? Where does that leave the family? And the institution is the family.
An institution many here have counted on to define Britain in times of trouble through the uncertain aftermath of Brexit or the global pandemic. That was before the Queen's death. Harry's book adds a new challenge to the monarchy, asking people to pick a side.
I don't think that you can terrorize a 1,000-year-old establishment. I don't think that will ever break down.
Do we need it, especially at a time like this?
No.
The book has already become the UK's fastest selling in non-fiction ever.
It's like kind of war games now. And my worry is, where does it go from here?
One place it won't be going is away, not with King Charles' coronation in the offing and speculation about who will or won't be attending already rife. Margaret Evans, CBC News, London.
So now there is another video from the royals reportedly took drastic action over Harry's memoir, and this is from the list. And let's watch this video together.
War rooms, burn books, and a very real fear about Prince William. The royals have apparently taken drastic action over Prince Harry's memoir. Prior to its official release, Prince Harry's memoir Spare had already rocked the royal family to its very core. It's safe to say that the Duke of Sussex certainly spares no one's feelings in this book, even revealing intimate details about his much-publicized feud with his older brother William. Harry also opens up about surviving the tragic death of his mother, Princess Diana, and his time in the British Army. However, the most shocking revelation by far concerns Prince Harry and Prince William coming to blows over Meghan Markle, which allegedly resulted in the Duke of Sussex being injured. In an advanced copy of the book received by The Guardian, Prince Harry wrote, "William broke my necklace by grabbing me by the collar of my shirt. I fell on the dog bowl, it broke under my back, and the pieces scratched me." According to Spare, as their hostility grew, King Charles III begged his sons, "Please, boys, don't make my final years a misery." The firm has reportedly been worried about what Harry might reveal in the book for months now. A publishing insider warned Page Six, "There's a lot of new stories in there about the past that Harry has not spoken about before, about his childhood. There is some content in there that should make his family nervous." As it turns out, the royals were anxious enough to take desperate measures in the lead-up to the book's release. As Prince Harry heads off on a press tour that includes interviews on Good Morning America and 60 Minutes, Page Six has revealed just how seriously Buckingham Palace is taking Spare. According to the outlet, the royal family's advisors have set up what's been described as a war room to respond to any revelations from the memoir. The situation was apparently considered so pressing that it even came up during the family's Christmas celebrations at Sandringham. The royals are allegedly preparing for the worst when it comes to Spare, with insiders noting that many people fully expect Harry to take aim at William. A source explained to Page Six, "There were undoubtedly fears about what Harry was going to write, and in particular, they were worried about the highly personal moments of their lives being retold."
I mean, thank you for proving our point.
King Charles III is apparently adamant that they shouldn't engage with what Harry has written, or whatever he might say in any interviews. However, William allegedly tried to convince his father that it might be better to release a statement. Despite the multitude of scandalous stories emerging from Harry's book thus far, Spare isn't necessarily about settling scores. During an appearance on the Royally Obsessed podcast, Omid Scobie, the co-author of Finding Freedom, reassured royal watchers by saying, "I think as much as the press wants this to be a burn book and an attack on the institution, this is more just about his story." Another reason Buckingham Palace is on the defense about Harry's book is because it comes just months after Queen Elizabeth II's death. In particular, Spare details how Harry discovered his beloved grandmother had died from the press coverage because he didn't make it to her bedside on time, per Us Weekly.
You were not invited on that place, not invited.
However, it's the accusations of racism, bullying, and estrangement that allegedly seem to be of most concern to the firm. Despite it all, the Prince of Wales is keeping quiet about his brother's book, confirming that William has no plans to retaliate in the media, an insider told the Sunday Times. He's keeping quiet for the good of his family and the country. The insider also described Harry's memoir as a character assassination. As one close friend of both brothers told the outlet, "William won't retaliate, he never would because he's dignified and unbelievably loyal. William is a sitting duck because Harry knows he isn't going to retaliate. How many shots can you take at a sitting duck? It's cruel, cowardly, and so sad for William to keep taking the punches." Buckingham Palace has not made any official comment on the book, nor the recently released Netflix docuseries Harry and Meghan.
I have just released my brand.
So this was from the list. So I wanted you guys to watch these two videos, and now we will hear some key highlights from the book on audio. We will listen that. And these are the opening credits.
This is Audible. Penguin Random House Audio presents Spare by Prince Harry. Read by me, the author. For Meg and Archie and Lily, and of course, my mother. The past is never dead. It's not even past. William Faulkner.
Now it is epigraph.
We agreed to meet a few hours after the funeral, in the Frogmore Gardens, by the old Gothic ruin. I got there first. I looked around, saw no one. I checked my phone, no texts, no voicemails. It must be running late, I thought, leaning against the stone wall. I put away my phone and told myself stay calm. The weather was quintessentially April. Not quite winter, not yet spring. The trees were bare, but the air was soft. The sky was grey, but the tulips were popping.
Now let's go to part 1, Out of the Night That Covers Me.
Part 1. Out of the Night That Covers Me. Chapter 1. There were always stories. People would whisper now and then about folks who hadn't fared well Balmoral. The long-ago Queen, for instance. Mad with grief, she'd locked herself inside Balmoral Castle and vowed never to come out. And the very proper former Prime Minister, he'd called the place surreal and utterly freaky. Still,
Let's go to chapter 2.
Chapter 2. A shock to the system, going from sun-drenched Saint-Tropez to cloud-shadowed Balmoral. I vaguely remember that shock, though I can't remember much else about our first week at the castle. Still, I can almost guarantee it was spent mostly outdoors. My family lived to be outdoors, especially Granny, who got cross if she didn't breathe at least an hour of fresh air each day. What we did outdoors, however, what we said, wore, ate, I can't conjure. With some reporting that we journeyed by.
Now let's go to chapter 3.
Chapter 3. Next to my bedroom was a sort of round sitting room. Round table, wall mirror, writing desk, fireplace with cushioned hearths around. In the far corner stood a great big wooden door.
Now I will go to part 2, Bloody But Unborn.
Part 2. Bloody but unbound. Chapter 1. Britain's Ministry of Defence told the world in February 2007 that I was deploying, that I would be commanding a group of light tanks along the Iraqi border near Basra. It was official. I was off to war. Public reaction was peculiar. Half of Britons were furious, calling it dreadful to risk the life of the Queen's youngest grandson. Spare or not, they said, it's unwise to send a royal into a war zone. It was the first time in 25 years that such a thing had been done. Half, however, said, bravo, why should Harry get special treatment? What a waste of taxpayers' money it would be to train the boy as a soldier and then not to use him. If he dies, they said. The enemy certainly felt that way. By all means, said the insurgents, who were trying to foment a civil war across Iraq, send us the boy. One of the insurgent leaders extended a formal invitation, worthy of high tea. Chapter 2. I pondered quitting the army. What was the point of staying if I couldn't actually be a soldier? I talked it over with Chelsea. She was torn,
And the last chapter from this part 2, and it is chapter 87.
Chapter 87. The next day we went to another house party, inland, though the air still smelled like ocean. More tequila, more names thrown at me, and more mushrooms. We all started playing some kind of game, some kind of charades, I think. Someone handed me a joint. Lovely. I took a hit, looked at the rinsed, creamy blue of the California sky. Someone tapped me on the shoulder, said they wanted me to meet Christina Aguilera. Oh, hello, Christina. She looked rather mannish. No. Apparently I'd misheard. It wasn't Christina Aguilera, it was the guy who co-wrote one of her songs. Genie in a Bottle. Did I know the lyrics? Did he tell me the lyrics? I'm a genie in a bottle, you gotta rub me the right way. Anyway, she made a boatload from those lyrics and now lived in high style. Good for you, mate.
Now, part 3, Captain of My Soul.
Part 3, Captain of My Soul. Chapter 1. I was sitting around Notcott, scrolling through Instagram. In my feed I saw a video. My friend Violet and a young woman. They were playing with a new app that puts silly filters on your photos. Violet and the woman had dog ears, dog noses, long red dog tongues hanging out. Despite the canine cartoon overlay, I sat up straighter. This woman with Violet. My God. I watched the video several times, then forced myself to put down the phone.
Chapter
Chapter
2,
2.
from the same Captain of My Soul.
After texting half the night, into the wee hours, I groaned when that alarm rang at dawn. Time to get on Sir Keith's boat. But I also felt grateful. A sailing race was the only way I'd be able to put down my phone. And I needed to put it down, just for a spell, to collect my wits, to pace myself. Sir Keith's boat was called Invictus, homage to the games. God love him. That day it had a crew of 11, including 1 or 2 athletes who'd actually competed in the games. The 5-hour race took us around the Needles and into the teeth of a gale. The wind was so fierce, many other boats dropped out of the race. I'd sailed before, many times. I recalled one golden holiday.
Now, from chapter 87, from the same part.
Chapter 87. It was slightly easier this time. Maybe because we were an ocean away from the old chaos and stress. When the big day came, we were both surer, calmer, steadier. What bliss, we said, not having to worry about timing, protocols, journalists at the front gate. We drove calmly, sanely to the hospital, where our bodyguards once again fed us. This time they brought burgers and fries from In-N-Out, and fajitas from a local Mexican restaurant for Meg. We ate, and then did the baby mama dance around the hospital room. Nothing but joy and love in that room. Still, after many hours, Meg asked the doctor, when? Soon. We're close, she said. This time I didn't touch the laughing gas, because there was none. I was fully present. I was with Meg through every push. When the doctor said it was a matter of minutes, I told Meg that I wanted mine to be the first face our little girl saw. We knew we were having a daughter. Meg nodded, squeezed my hand. I went and stood beside the doctor. We both crouched, as if about to pray. The doctor called out, "The head is crowning." Crowning, I thought. Incredible. The skin was blue. I worried the baby wasn't getting enough air. Is she choking? I looked at Meg. One more push, my love. We're so close. Here, the doctor said, guiding my hands. Right here. A scream and then a moment of pure liquid silence. It wasn't, as sometimes happens, that past and future was suddenly one. It was that the past didn't matter, and the future didn't exist. It was only this intense present. And then the doctor tapped me shouted.
And now the epilogue.
Epilogue. I helped Meg into the boat. It wobbled, but I quick stepped to the middle, got it righted in time. As she found a seat in the stern, I took up the oars. It didn't work. We're stuck. The mud of the shallows had us in its grip. Uncle Charles came down to the water's edge, gave us a little shove. We waved to him and to my two aunts. Bye, see you in a bit. I across the pond. I gazed around at Hawthorpe's rolling fields and ancient trees, the thousands of green acres where my mother grew up, and where, though things weren't perfect, she'd known some peace. Minutes later, we reached the island and gingerly stepped onto the shore. I led Meg up the path.
So this was a little bit from epilogue, and now these were some key highlights. And folks, now I will go to my thoughts on the book. So I have always been like a big, huge fan of Queen Elizabeth as well as Princess Diana. And I watched her funeral and I was crying like anything, seeing that. And these two boys walking, behind their mothers, when she was like her funeral. So, and this British monarchy has always intrigued me, and I wanted to know more about British monarchy. So, as you know, I'm originally from India. Now I live in Washington D.C. metro area, and India was under the British rule before its independence. So I have read a lot about British monarchy, and there is always some mystery, intrigue about British monarchy. And this book, I feel, is a bombshell, and it is also written. It's very well written book, and I really enjoyed it. I bought the audiobook because I wanted to hear, like instead of reading, I'm a full-time author, so whole day I'm reading books and all. I said this one I will not buy to read it. I will buy to listen it to it, audiobooks, because I have to give my thoughts on it. I didn't want to delay it, and I was feeling very tired reading so many books for my projects, of writing. So I thought, for this one I will have an audiobook. So folks, I had this audiobook and I listened it and I finished it, and it's beautiful written. There are so many juicy details in it. I like the Real Housewives franchise, and it is kind of, you feel like, it is written in that kind of manner, in very interesting manner, as well as, you hear the inside stories of British monarchy. How can an elder brother, Prince Williams, beat his younger brother, Prince Harry? This is really, really shocking to me. And I'm looking forward for some kind of a statement from King Charles and Prince William. Let's see what they have to say, if they come out with a statement or are they silent about it. So some more thoughts, some of my own thoughts are: it is very shocking, bizarre, and in some cases downright untoward. Leaks from Prince Harry's memoir Spare had come before January 10 publication. Spare is filled with very melodious meditations on royal life. The book's opening evokes none other than, and I was a big fan of William Shakespeare. So it looks like it is in very poetic and William Shakespeare style. And Harry awaits his father and brother at the royal burial ground at Frogmore, where many of his forebears are buried. The three men have agreed to a parley after Prince Philip's funeral, a last ditch effort to resolve some of the family conflicts that drove Harry from his ancestral home. And I think, the two brothers should reconcile because, of course, brothers are brothers. And it's good that Harry let us know, because whatever we know of royal British monarchy is through journalists. But this one, someone from the monarchy, is talking about it. And the name of the book is Spare. It is very, very good because his elder brother Prince Williams will become the king, and he will not become the king. So he is kind of a spare. He thinks that way. So this is what the book says. And it gives those kind of vibes that he thinks he is spare. Some of the reviews said that he is jealous of his elder brother. I don't think so. He's just venting out his feelings, and some people write and vent out their feelings, and that's what he is doing. Some reviews say that it is because of money he did it. That I don't know. He has enough money. So but at least through his writings, we common people could know that what he has to say. And the book is really very interesting. And when you hear it, you are in that persona of British monarchy. And because since I heard it on audiobook, it was like it was easy on my eyes, like I don't have to read it. I was not in any reading mode, as I told you, because I read thousands of books to fulfill my writing project. So hearing it was very lyrical to me. It like from the Shakespearean poetry. So he's able to extract memories from the subject and paint a vivid picture of these moments. And now my time to give, how many points do I give to this book? Go and buy this book and see for yourself. And I want to give 5 stars to this book. This is, really, and I love you, Prince Harry, for writing this book and letting into your life. This is so good. Just go and read this book, and you will like it, as I am saying that. And now, before ending this broadcast, I want to remind you that these are my two books: The Modern Mughal Mentality, New Strategies to Succeed in India and the Global Marketplace. And I said before the review and all, starting this program, at the start of this program, that I want a documentary to be made of the modern Mughal mentality. So all those documentary producers, please contact me at Afshan at drafshanhashmi.com. And many American companies are featured in this book. And if you learn the strategies, and follow them, which is given in this book, you will have a very successful life, a very luxurious life, and you will make millions. Having said that, friends, the second one, The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection, is a science fiction mystery. And it shows in a very unique story what bioterrorism it can do, what harm it can do. And the beauty of this book, Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection, is that it came before coronavirus. And in a very unique story, I have shown that how a virus can ruin the human population. Both my books were Amazon bestsellers, and The Modern Mughal Mentality was hot #1 new release on Amazon. The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection, I want a movie or a web series to be made, and Tailflix has given me a very good evaluation, and they say my book is compared to Crazy Rich Asians and Outbreak and Contagion. So if a movie is made, it will be compared to those blockbuster movies. So all, and you can go to my website www.afshanhashmi.com and see what Tailflix has to say. There is a separate page for that. Having said that, so all those Hollywood, Bollywood, Netflix, independent producers, please contact me at afshan@drafshanhashmi.com. And I have already written the script of this outbreak of a monstrous infection, and I am eager to sell the rights. So please contact me at Afshan and make my dreams come true. And since I am a full-time author, the sale of these books bring food to the table. So please go and buy these two books and give me an honest review. Having said that, friends, this doco series from the platform I am addressing you guys, please, this platform is my doco series is syndicated worldwide to 300 million listeners. So if you give me sponsorship, just think your product will be promoted in a very reasonable price to 300 million listeners, and it is very costly to produce these kind of programs. So please give me sponsorship if you want these programs to continue. And also please follow me on all my social medias, and I'm there as Afshan Hashmi or Dr. Afshan Hashmi, and especially my YouTube channel, and at Afshan Hashmi is my YouTube channel. Please go and see that and what kind of videos I make, and do comment there, and please do subscribe there. Having said that, friends, cheers and bye bye. And now I will end this broadcast.